Hey there, it's Terry from the Quarter Acre. How are you doing this morning? I hope you're doing great. This is my July update. So we do not homeschool in July. This is kind of a transition month for us. So June we take completely off. My kiddos one did overnight camp for a week, and one did like day camp at the rec center near our house, and that's about it. Now moving into July, my son will be doing golf lessons 5 days a week for an hour a day, or 2 hours a day, sorry. And my daughter will be doing her ballet summer intensive each day. Wednesdays we'll go to the pool, and that's pretty much it for this month for the kiddos. But it gets them back into some kind of routine, some kind of schedule, because we have just been like almost like on detox mode for the last month, like just kind of vegging out, swimming in our own pool, doing our thing, just relaxing from the busy end of the school year and fair season that was May. So June is our relaxed month. July is my prep month. So preparing them by getting them into some sort of routine mildly, and then I start going out with the old stuff in the classroom and in with the new, trying to come up with new systems. I'm moving all of our school supplies into our mudroom, pantry, laundry room area, so that there's not so much in our schoolroom. Kind of keep it visually clutter-free this year, and also protect my school supplies. So how many of you have a crafter as one of your kiddos? So I have a crafter kiddo, and no matter how much I'm like, please ask before you take something, like I'm still finding, 10 sheets of construction paper folded in half and stapled to make a book that was written in once and then just thrown away. And I hate wasting school supplies. Like, it drives me nuts. So we have a little combo lock to get into our mudroom, and so all the school supplies are going to be going into the drawers and cabinets in there, and I'll do a video on how I organize all that once I get it all organized. And so yeah, that's going to be a big transition for us this year, and learning how to reutilize the storage stuff that we have out here. And July is just a time for me to assess, like, okay, what worked really well that we want to duplicate in the upcoming school year, and what needs to be tweaked. Like, what was a fail outright, or what was something that just kind of irritated me every time I walked by the classroom. It looked this way or that way, because our dining room is like right in the middle of our house. Like, if you walk in the front door and you step through and come into our foyer, you're looking into the dining room, and the family room and the living room. Like, it's a really open concept, and so I really want it to be like just visually clean, you know what I mean? Like, not cluttered. Also this year, for some reason, lots of chalk dust. Like, I love having a chalkboard. I won't switch to a whiteboard. I made our chalkboard our first year homeschooling, and I'm like super attached to it. Like, I don't even know after we're done homeschooling if I'm gonna get rid of it. I might just leave it on that wall because it works really well, like decor wise. But like, gosh, this year for some reason, super chalky, and I even got Crayola chalk. You know me, I love Crayola, but so that's something that we're gonna have to address, and just minor organization issues. Starting to prep curriculum. This is the first year that we've done a full printable math curriculum for my son, and I am trying to wrap my head around how to print it. I have my Eco Tank, which I love, and I got a binder, like a binding machine. But yeah, like, I started to print it, and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of moving parts and pieces here, so I'm gonna have to work on that. I haven't really started on shopping yet, but I did find a few things that, like, I'd love to share. One of the things that I bought recently that came super fast, like, normally the Good and the Beautiful, like, I'm always like, I order way ahead because it doesn't always get here on time. Well, wow, this came like incredibly fast. So this is, I've already ordered the first one and received it and did a review. You can check that out here on the channel. But I'll do a flip through on this too. This is the new Little Hearts and Hands Science. So I'm super excited because I feel like my daughter's going into 4th grade. Want to make sure she hits all of the little kid science because she's been doing a lot of big kid science with her brother. And so I was kind of like, this is not, it's definitely not a year's worth of curriculum for a 4th grader. This is like really, we're going to move this really quickly. So I'm glad that we were able to grab this on the day that it came out. Another cool thing that I've purchased for the school year, I just found these yesterday at Dollar Tree. So I'm hoping you can see that on this side, it's a plastic container that opens up, and there's a spot for paint to get squirted over here, a little spot here for your paintbrush, and then a place for your paper, and then you can close it up. Like, I love this. This is awesome. This is awesome for taking like to the park and being able to paint like while you're there, and like to conserve your paints, because we do a lot of watercolor, but I also like to do acrylic paints because I'm better with acrylic paints than I am with watercolors personally. So I got a couple of these, one for each kiddo. And another Dollar Tree find is this container. It's like for candy, for like parties and stuff, but I like it for all of our pencils and pens. I'm actually going to go back and get 2 more so that I can keep pencils, pens, and crayons separate. Oh, I might get another one for highlighters as well. And then, not necessarily homeschool related, but if you have kids coming over to your pool, or your kids are going to the pool and they need floaties, the Dollar Tree floaties are great because they've actually lasted a really long time for us. And why pay $10 for something when you can get it for $1.50? So I just had to plug those. And they hold me up. They're awesome. And then hair ties. If you're not getting them at Dollar Tree, and if you have a girl and she has long hair, you'll know that these are a homeschool tool to keep that hair out of their face when they're like this over a book. And then she's using these for ballet too. And this I just thought was adorable. If we've got a little ballerina to keep in her bag. It's got little rainbow bristles, which I think are super cute, and it's that pretty soft ballet pink. Do a homeschool ASMR video, start tapping pencils and stuff. Also, our Dollar Tree got these back. They're the little dotted line writing deal. So I've got, these are for the kids I'm tutoring. This is going to be our sound of the week next week. We did OUGH, and it's 6 sounds this week. And so what we're doing next week, the DGE. So yeah, that's kind of what July is for me. Just finding some cool stuff to add to the homeschool like supply list. And you're sliding again. Sorry, I'm not using my tripod. Just using my little tin decorative trough to prop you up here in my kitchen this morning. That's kind of just what July is. Assessing what worked and what didn't work. Reorganizing. I'm going to drop you 10 times. Reassessing, organizing, trying to get back some semblance of a routine, or just getting them used to like having commitments at a certain day, on a certain day at a certain time, and just enjoying this kind of final summertime. We do a first day back to school, and we also do a little bit of a slow transition as well. Like, I know that sounds kind of confusing, so let me just kind of briefly go over that. We do a big first day of school. We take a picture with a little sign. We have activities that, they have new school supplies that they get. Like, we really try to make a memory of the first day of each grade. But we don't dive into all the subjects. So the first day of school, we might just do a fun science experiment and a cool history lesson, like something that I think they're really going to enjoy. Like a back to school writing prompt or something like that. And then we'll have a special dinner. And there you go. That's our first day of school. And then we'll slowly start adding on more subjects and easing into our normal weekly routine, which we have a homeschool flow instead of, I wouldn't call it a schedule, but it's more of a flow. So it's not like from 9 to 10 we study this, and from 10 to 11 we study that, because maybe from 9 to 10 we're supposed to be studying history, and we get really into it and the kids start asking really great questions. I don't want to have to say, oh guys, I'm sorry, it's 10 o'clock. We need to switch to math now. So we call it a flow. So each day we have, these are all the things that we need to get done today. And if it takes us 10 minutes to do this one, okay, we can be done in 10 minutes, this subject. And if it takes us 2 hours, then it takes us 2 hours. But the next thing that we're going to do is this, or that. So that's kind of how we operate there. And July is kind of a time for me to look at the different curriculums that we have and kind of look at what that flow is going to look like for the year. This is basically just my relaxed planning month. Back in January, I already picked out all the curriculum for this year to make sure that I would have it ordered and have it present when July, my planning month, comes around. I do not like to feel stressed out. I do not like to be waiting on things to come in. So I like to make sure I have everything well in advance. And this is my time to get familiar with everything that I've purchased, see where things are going to overlap, see where things between my two kids' curriculums, see where things are going to get crazy. So I've got, this year, I'm going to be one of the co-CCLs, community club leaders for our 4-H group. So I've got our yearly calendar here with what we're doing each month, so that I can plan, like, okay, we have a fair in August, at the end of August and the beginning of September. My kids run a poultry exhibit for the county fair, and they're going to be exhibiting, they're raising some meat birds for that fair. So I know I'm not going to schedule testing during that time. I'm not going to have a major essay due for my son. I'm going to incorporate educational activities that correspond with what we're doing at the fairs and things like that. But I'm going to respect the natural flow of our year. It's kind of like you're not going to plan a big party the week before Christmas if you're already hosting a big Christmas party the week of Christmas. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to double up on big stuff, and you want to also find educational activities that go along with those things. So I'm going to, my daughter dances in the Nutcracker every year, and we'll do a little unit study on the Nutcracker or Tchaikovsky or something like that around that time. That is going to be educational, but is not going to be overtaxing while she's rehearsing, 6 days a week. So, yeah, like I said, July is the time to look at that stuff, assess what worked last year, figure out what you're going to change for this year, what you're going to keep, and enjoy cracking the spines on all that new curriculum and seeing where your adventures in homeschooling is going to take you this year. What do you use July for in your homeschool? Are you a veteran homeschooler and you're like, nope, July could better be utilized by using it to fill in the blank? Let me know in the comment section down below. Are you new to homeschooling and you're like, I don't know what worked last year, because last year we were in public school, or last year we weren't schooling, and I need all the help I can get. If so, check out some of the other videos on the channel, or let me know in the comment section down below if you have any specific homeschool questions. I am so glad that you stopped by today and that we could share just a little bit of what's happening in July for our family with you. I hope that you have an amazing day. happy homeschooling and be blessed.